Okay. Says we're live. Let's see here. La 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 la. Okay. So I'm live and I am happy to be back here with you. So we're going to do our spiritual weather report, which I do every week. Remember to subscribe here on YouTube and get notifications. And there's also playlists. So there's a playlist for all the spiritual weather reports, all the multidimensional meditations, and for the dolphin healing and for many of the other wonderful things that we do. So, what we're going to do now is talk about our destiny because this is really the key to the energies that are going on this week. So, whoops, okay, come back. Let me see. I go here and I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to go here and I'm going to share that. And hopefully it's working. Okay, I'm not hearing yet from Donna. Donna, can you hear me? Donna, can you see me? Okay, anybody see me yet? Let me check my Hola, hi Brittany, yay! Oh, I'm so excited for class today. Hearing and seeing, excellent. Okay, I will move on then. Okay, so destiny healing. One thing I really love about learning these different symbols, the different systems, the different things that are here to give us information is that it's all information, it's messages, it's medicine, and the messengers that come to us, whether it's a crystal or a goddess, like the healing meditation we just did for Imbolc. So if you weren't there, happy Imbolc. This is the day between the equinox and the solstice, and it is Brigide's Day, who is a beautiful triple goddess of the Celtic tradition in fire and water. So she's asked us to light 3 candles and to have, I only have 1 so far, but I will be doing that today. And a lot of it is growth and lighting the fire of your spirit and your heart and coming into abundance and becoming the maiden, the renewal energy, because we're moving towards that spring renewal if you're in the north. And so let's go ahead and dive into the energies, because I find that the north node and the south node in your chart, so there's lots of places to get a free astrology natal chart, and you can get it if you don't know your time of day. It's a little less accurate, I guess, but there's ways to do it. And what happens is the north node and the south node are not actually planets or stars. They are a scientific mathematical point between things. So we don't need to go into anything more than that. However, wherever they show up on your chart through your life, the north node is where you're headed. It's like the North Star. So it is where your life is going. It is what your destiny path is. If you understand your natal chart, you can have something like it is your destiny to heal your money issues and make your own money. And that's one of my destinies. So that's an example of what you can find out from your chart with a really good astrologer. And tracking your north node may or may not need anything. Now, the north and south node, of course, are opposite each other exactly all the time. And the south node is the past. It's where you've been. So depending where that shows up, it might be showing you that this is over. Maybe it's leaving a particular house in your life. That's done. Okay. Now, this is exciting. Okay. So we're in a massive evolution. We're in a massive change. We're several years into this decade, and we know the breakdown is happening. We've been watching it. And hopefully you're on the path of saying, yeah, let's just move forward. Even though I don't know what it is, I'm ready to melt. I'm ready to ooze myself into a new shape. And so our destiny direction is changing. So it's time for us personally, and most important, collectively. This is a shift of the collective. This is not only for us individually, but remember, as a collective, we have individual aspects. We have individual purposes and pieces. We are a piece of the puzzle. The whole cannot heal until we heal, and we cannot heal until the whole heals. Now, we don't wait for the whole. We heal ourselves. And then that draws everyone else up into our energies. All right. So if you're triggered at any point, because that's what happens. We go in and out of happiness and triggers and sadness and feeling good and feeling bad. And that's part of being in a body. So don't judge that. Instead, get yourself into the flow, be there and rest. I was so ridiculous for me to say it's cold here. And I refuse to tell you how cold it is because it's not cold. All right. My family is up there in sub-zero weather. But this is very cold for us. I couldn't get out of bed this morning to go take my beach walk. I was just in there with 3 blankets on top of me, just going, no. And so I let it go. I didn't get all upset. Oh, I missed out and I didn't, and whatever. Okay, this is the moment for being cozy. And I got under the covers and my kitty was there and I meditated and I did the harmony crown from our prosperity. Or I love it. And it was this beautiful, nurturing moment that could have been me being mad at myself or me frustrated. Okay, so take your power back in those moments. So we have to collectively accept our wounds and claim them as powers. So this is part of the reason that the classes that I offer and the retreats that I do are all aligned with what's happening right now. So they're super relevant for what's happening collectively and personally. And so we're going to be moving in a few weeks into a new course called Sacred Soul Powers. And this is awakening your past life powers. This is actually consciously going in to find those lives that, of course, carry wounds, because the wounds are the experience. The wounds are the thing that you most identify with because you have a pattern, and then that pattern existed in your family and younger and in another life and in another life and another life. However, the wound, just like the wounds we have in this life, are not blocks. And Chiron is an asteroid that is named for Chiron, who is a Greek who was a very wounded, unloved, unwanted, rejected by his mother, just abandoned. All of those things you can think about, being abandoned, being betrayed, not loved, not wanted, any aspect of that you have, or still carry is represented by Chiron. I love Chiron so much because we call Chiron the wounded healer. And as we approach the peak of what's happening, which will be on the 11th, this is the 1st, okay? We already feel this energy. So we have to do the same thing that Chiron did. The stories, the myths, and myths doesn't mean they're not true. And go to Greece and be like, here's the mythical city. I'm like, how can it be mythical? It's right in front of me. I thought myths didn't exist. They do. They're based in truth and reality. And so they're teaching tools, okay? And so Chiron is showing you that, yes, you're wounded. And yes, you've had all these things happen to you. And like many of the heroes, you were given quests. You were given challenges. You were given labors, the labors of Hercules. Go find this demon and cut the head off of the demon and bring it home. What does that mean for you? It means find your inner demons that are telling you you're not good enough, and telling you you can't make money, and telling you that you're never going to heal, and telling you you can't have that, and telling you you failed. Cut its head off and bring it home. Now, that aspect of bring it home is that you are not mad at this part of you. You are reclaiming this part of you, because that part of you has strength, and that part of you has wisdom, and that part of you has experience. So Chiron is this incredible aspect that it's an asteroid. However, most astrologers talk about Chiron because of its power for us. We are literally an entire planet of wounds that are healing. I mean, the horror that's happening now, the horror that's happened in the past, and I'm not just talking about the Middle Ages, on and on and on. We know it, we've seen it, we played it, we did it, okay? And you've been both parts, okay? I didn't want to admit that way back in the day when I first started learning this. I wanted to know, I'm a nice person. I'm the lovey-dovey person. I love animals. Why do I love animals so much? Because you used to be an asshole to them. So, not in this life. So we've had both sides of the coin. Therefore, now you have to come to the center and stop judging. Judging is blame. Blame is guilt. Guilt is the second lowest state of consciousness. You don't want to be there? Don't go there. Now, Chiron is here to say, You've experienced this too, and you don't have to be wounded. You don't have to identify with your wounds. You do not have to identify with your healing, not your healing, identify with your healing. You don't have to identify with what you have had to heal or what you feel has been done to you or what you feel has been taken from you, because nobody can take anything from you. Now, it's a big statement and it's an esoteric statement. And then we want to bring that down into practicality. We want to bring that down to earth. We want Gaia and Dolphin to say, let's see, how do we do this? How do we open our Kundalini and actually release balanced life force energy, masculine and feminine, into our energy centers so that we can finally open our wings. We can finally open our crown. We can finally create as the creators we came here to be. All the potential is within you. This is encoded in you. If you identify with the wounds, the codes you keep pulling up from your soul, from your Genesis crystal within you, from your cells, from your DNA, is the wounds. The wounds must be accepted. They must be honored. They must be respected. They must be desired to know them. And then when you bring them in, you love them and you thank them and you hold them. You know, the people who've been the biggest harm to you in your life. I was saying biggest a lot, so I didn't say some rude word. The people who have hurt you the most in your perception are your biggest spiritual BFFs. They are your biggest spiritual friends. They agreed to play a role for you that also served them. Nobody sacrifices. At a soul level, we agree. However, when you get here, that person, like my ex-husband, he may decide he doesn't want to keep going forward. So he didn't want our relationship to end. We had 25 years of marriage, tons of karmic stuff, lots of healing, all kinds of ups and downs, massive in love, and then no communication and just all kinds of stuff, okay? Very beautiful man, love him dearly, and just we were done, okay? Done. And he wasn't done. He wasn't able to recognize that doneness at his phase. So you might be at a different place. Your wounds may be healing, and people you live with, their wounds aren't healing. They're not doing their work. You may be working with somebody. I know there's somebody on here right now, hi beautiful, who is one of my clients in England doing the prosperity magic class. And she was asking a question this morning because we have a group chat. And so I was in bed under the covers answering questions and helping people like process this stuff. And she said, oh, you know what? I keep validating myself. I keep trying to explain myself. I have this guilt that comes up and takes hold of me when something good happens to me. And I feel like I have to explain, well, why it happened and, you know, that it's not too good. And I've had this as well. So we see that these wounds go into whether you subconsciously feel like you're worthy of being paid a certain amount of money, asking money, keeping money, spending money, worthy of love, worthy of attention, worthy of a better job, worthy of a nice, peaceful place to live. These are deep encoded patterns. You didn't pick your reality by accident, okay? It's projecting from you. I want you to become the most powerful creator you have ever been. I want you to become the most enlightened being that you possibly can at this moment in this time, and don't try to force it. Let it emerge from within you, right? Stay in tune with nature and the rhythms and Gaia and the goddesses and all this beauty that's here, because in the middle of the hell that we have created, beauty blooms. I had a really profound personal session yesterday where, like many of us, this client is having a lot of pain, a lot of fear, a lot of breakdowns. And she's just right there on the edge. She's right on the verge of just walking through those wounds. And so much of us are there. And it looked like a burned forest, but like charred, not just like part of it burned down. If you've ever seen a forest fire afterwards, it brings sadness to your body, because trees, right? Trees live there, squirrels live there, birds live there, deers live there, flowers, ants. The life force goes on, even when we don't, think about it. Let's just plow that now. And then you realize fire is an element. And right now we're in Imbolc, and goddess, the triple goddess of the Celts, Brigid, is a fire water goddess. And that fire has a transformational quality. It transforms, it transfigures, it transmutes. It is way beyond just moving this from here to here. It's Let go of the shape, let go of the structure. When you burn wood, you release its power, its energy that created that wood. The essence of the wood that said, I'm making a shape, what comes out in light, sound, crackle, crackle, fire, heat. Those are all expressions of energy that are being emitted from that being, that tree, that wood. Now there's more of that particular tree's essence in it as well. However, the key is that when that's gone, what's left? Ashes. There's still another aspect of that being there. And what happens in the ashes? The phoenix rises again. We are not dead. We do not get burned. We do not get beheaded. We do not get burned at the stake. We do not torture ourselves for thousands of lives so that we can continue to suffer now. No, no, no. It's not happening. I'm leading this community into the light, and we are going to be the path that blazes this and says, no, my destiny is taking me, and everything is everything. The stars and the elements and the weather and everything, instead of judging it by the weather and the news and people saying, well, it used to be like this, it should be like that. It's not supposed to be like that. We don't know how Gaia is changing. We don't know how she's supposed to change. We don't know what is supposed to happen to her poles. We know that the poles have shifted before, and you can even read books of how they track the poles shifting inside of the planet. And it shows you where the power goes. As over here, it was Genghis Khan. As over here, it was America. Now it's moving again. This is not something you need to know. You need to find your pole, your inner, your North Star. Where are you moving? Are you listening to your inner authority? Can you hear it? Because you can't hear anything above the din that's out there if you're plugged in. But if you burn that down and then you go into your own burned down forest, and you sit there, pretty soon you realize the rains will come, and I have the power within me to feed and nurture and nourish the seeds. Because when you burn down a forest, the next year there's more life than you've ever seen. There's more flowers, there's that maiden energy. New seeds are blooming. Seeds. They know what to do. You know what to do. Time to bloom. Your wounds do not hold you back. They are your uniqueness and they are your power. Love them now. If you've had cancer and cured, you know, unless you still identify with it, and that's your choice. However, if you've been through something and you know, wow, that was a gift. I know that Chris's seizure was a massive gift. And in the middle of the chaos that ensued in the 3 to 4 weeks after, where I had to cancel retreats and cancel all kinds of stuff that I was doing and put my life on hold, I realized it. And I was still reeling with, I don't know what to do, what's happening, or anything else. And I told him, thank you. I said, thank you from the deepest part of my heart to be the strong spiritual being that chose this. Because we both needed this. We both needed an interruption of our path. We were workaholics. We were stressed. Our health was going downhill. Everything seemed to be. And I was just lost and pushing. I couldn't find the thread of life anymore. That's when you reach the cave of the wound and you can't see the door in the wound. And then you're liberated. You're liberated from something. And you might judge it and you might think it's bad and your destiny is trying to lead you somewhere. The cosmos, the universe, everything is leading you forward in the best way that it can based on what you can hear and what you can see. So thank you for that. Now, so CHIRON is also, I hope you can see me. Let me go back and look over here. Can you see me now? Okay. This beautiful being here is Asclepius. And this is a Greek god of healing. And he is the Greek god of the Asclepians, of which we will activate at least 3 when we're in Greece. And they're the precursors to hospitals. They were the temples you went to speak directly to him, but more to his wife and all of his daughters, who are named for all the aspects of healing. Incredible, divine, feminine places where you had direct healing. This is an embodiment of CHIRON. He was trained by Chiron. He was raised by the centaur. And Chiron is represented by half man, half centaur, which I am as a Sagittarius as well. That means you have certain power, certain energy, certain medicine, certain understandings. And I can't tell you. I had the pleasure of going to, I think, 4 of them, and one of them we could go in and we could be at the temple and be in the altar. And I have a little piece of the temple here, and it's incredible. So this is dream weaving sleep healing that we're going to do in Greece, and we're also going to be doing the direct connection through that and the direct connection through Gaia navel life force here. So Chiron is a Skeplion. And what is a Skeplion? A Skeplion is probably is how you say it, is the divine God that holds the structure for all those sacred feminine aspects. His wife is the goddess of soothing. He has a goddess daughter of healing, of the healing process, right? Of all the different aspects. How interesting is this? So Chiron is telling us that you have within you all these pillars, all these aspects of healing. You already have the structure of your uniqueness, your soul, your path, and what it needs to take the wounds and transform them into the powers. 1, you can't see yourself as a victim anymore. 2, you have to give up identifying with the wounds as if they have power over you, as if they define you, limit you, and you have to look deep for the patterns that say, that you may not be aware of, but say, oh, if I let go of that weakness, what if nobody will love me or help me anymore? It's very common with money. If you've had money challenges and maybe you've gotten help, then you start making money and there's a fear that nobody will help you anymore. So then there's this conflict within you that says, oh, I shouldn't make any money because what if I don't get help from the government or mother or this person or that person? And also this happens with healing. One of my very early healing days, wow, millions of years ago, I remember getting a client who would go to a channel that I went to, and I heard him complain all the time. Every time he'd come and complain about his toe or some other physical problem he had and why won't it heal. And finally he came to me and we began to work. He was on a lot of medicine, a lot of pharmaceutical medicines. And very slowly he started to get off the medicines. I was replacing them with natural medicines. I'm a homeopathic doctor and I have training in so many different healings. So if you work with me, you can have access to that part of my big brain. And then he started to feel happy, and he started to not have symptoms, and he started to live a more full life. And about 6 weeks into it, he stopped, like he ran into a wall, because what happened was the inner fear came up and he wasn't even conscious of it. Up here, he's just started to see, oh, well, you know, this and that, and I don't know about this, and I'm not going to do that. And he interrupted his healing. He stopped trusting it. He stopped doing it. He went backwards. Why? Many people have this because they have a learned helplessness. They have a learned powerlessness. It doesn't move forward on their path. So your North Node might move through different houses, and each one of those days, each one of those phases, each one of those planets opens an opportunity for you. It gives you a specific energy to help you. And if you don't take advantage of it during that period, if you go hide back in your fears, it's okay. We all do it. Then get up again. Otherwise, you're just going to skip that. And when you miss an initiation, when you miss a rite of passage in your life, the issue is that you're sort of out of balance. You're sort of incomplete. So I do a lot of initiations. We do a lot of initiations, a lot of activations, a lot of healings, a lot of releasing in my classes and private sessions, because we must go multidimensionally. We must have multidimensional experiences in order to access all the levels of our being. When you treat a symptom, it's okay. Don't feel bad. I had such an epic headache yesterday. I took an ibuprofen, okay? I am not against pharmaceuticals completely. I use them selectively for supporting my health. And it was outer limits. So I can share this with you very quickly because I know it's part of what's happening right now. So I'm going through the Prosperity Magic class with my class. I do it. I listen to all the classes after I channel them. I repeat the patterns, the processes, and I go diving deep into my own work, then I have my clients who are going through it, and I get to see the patterns that we're all having. I get to see the shifts, how it works. Then I'm wiser and I hold a bigger space for you and I understand what goes on. So I decided to have 2 massages this week because I have a lot of really deep tension in my back and certain issues with my neck. And one of the philosophies is if you do massages, maybe 3 or 4 in a week versus every other week or something, you go deep, you get it solved, and then you could not have a massage for a little while. And this was my second really deep one. The pain was so bad. My head was ready to fall off of me. I was in tears. And I love my massage therapist. She comes right here to my home. She's absolutely epic. There's no words for her. She knows exactly what to do. She's a divine intuitive healer. We've been using her for years. And I was in tears, not because she was doing anything wrong, but because of what was releasing. And I felt like I was in torture. I went right back to lives of torture. There wasn't anything specific because I've worked on that so much. Imprisonment, torture, death didn't really matter to me anymore. I've processed all the death lives, but the lives where I was tortured, the lives where I was limited, where I was locked up in some way. And they were just, they were everywhere. They were oozing from me. I started having a panic attack. I started thinking about my brother-in-law who's dying. And I'm very good about making sure that I give him pure love and light energy as he's processing his life. And I almost had to get up off the table 2 or 3 times because the panic was rolling through me. And I rose up out of my body. I hovered above and I stayed connected. I let myself process it. And yet I was watching it. And I was just like, I just want it over. 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 And it was like this. This is the path. Keep moving. Now, I'm not saying you have to suffer, but because we have pain or discomfort, if we can't move forward and do what we wanted today, I had to do something I didn't want, or for me, I wanted to accomplish 400 things today and I only accomplished 4. I've had to release that. I'm still releasing that. I'm still letting go of that. However, when you come into the present moment, your destiny is flowing. The moment is rich with so much for you, despite how you're feeling. Even now I'm having nausea. I'm still having a lot of those things coming up today. And it was CHIRON. It's CHIRON coming. When I have my retreats, we always look at what day to start, what time to start. So we imprint a natal chart, a specific healing energy into the retreat. And we always look to where CHIRON is because we are healing. We are healing our wounds and we're becoming empowered. So don't think CHIRON is weak. CHIRON is the healer who has taken the wounds and stopped seeing them as a burden. And he's moved past being abandoned, unloved, unwanted. And he found his wounds were not burdens, but wisdom. And because the whole healer who guides you into your power through accepting your wounds and freeing yourself from suffering. He is the whole healer who guides you into your power through accepting your wounds and freeing yourself from suffering. Freeing yourself from suffering. Freeing yourself from suffering. Now, you may not think you suffer. You may be like, I have a great life. I'm doing this and this. Great. I'm super excited because that means we can find the deeper cords and the deeper attachments. This is true for the world as well, which will lead you, ignore the B, to a lot of healing opportunities in the next few months. Chiron and the North Node are moving forward, and uncomfortable situations, example just given, that are up for healing and transformation. So I am at the point of 38 years of, I guess, conscious healing in this life. And I'm really glad I'm here, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and even physically. I love myself. I love my body more than I ever have, even though I was an athlete when I was younger, because I have that inner awareness. I've risen above and out of the story. I'm not attached to anybody anymore. The stories of, am I good enough? So uncomfortable situations that are up for healing and transformation right now will be in your life and in your body, in your finances, everywhere, and will be in your family, in your city, in your environment, in the world. Okay? Collective. World tragedies that lead to greater laws and protection, a greater push for humanitarian efforts, the end of suffering for a particular community or country, a greater push towards independence and individuality. These are all the things that are happening. Spiritual awakenings, especially for healers, greater acceptance of the spiritual healing modalities. More and more people are going to turn to these alternative, so to speak, methods because they realize that they have more to them than they thought. All right, a pathway to a higher destiny, higher states of consciousness, deep healing and acceptance of trauma and wounds, psychic cleansing. Now, we're going to have the eclipse in April, and a powerful healing teacher is coming forward. Is it you? Is it me? Who is it? So I want you to enter the wounds because you carry labels and blocks and limitations and injustices, and they weaken this inner energy. Okay? As a courageous wounded healer, who has harnessed your power? Okay? So as well as huge leaps that we're going to take, there is perfection is not lack of wounds. It's how you do your wounds. So what are you going to create? Your ancestors created something. It's in your body. What are you going to uncreate? Do you understand that the destiny is going in a new direction? And as you move forward on that direction, you're going to find that suddenly you have new awarenesses, that your wounds no longer hold you back or make you afraid, but you keep stepping up through them. They attract other people who love you, respect you, appreciate you, or value what you've been through. So we have Uranus in our beautiful sudden planet, right? Metamorphosis, surprising things. And we have, it's been in retrograde and it just went direct. Now we have all planets going direct. And what do we have? We have a chance to get unstuck. We have a chance to see where we're rejecting and where we're judging and criticizing ourselves. This is a planet of change, awakening, sudden, redirecting, suddenness, okay? This is, I want change, I want change, I want change, and I'm going to force it to happen somehow. So if you're flowing with the change and you're using the energies up, great. If you're resisting the change, it's going to be a little bit of a shock, right? It's redirection, it's unexpected. It is awakening though. So change is always good from the sense that a breakdown is a breakthrough. The wound is a door to the power. All right. Freedom, radical. This is always radical. It's always like, whoa, what happened? Innovative. So we're in a creative year. We can use this energy for innovation. It's unpredictable and uncontrollable. And we're looking at transfiguration, shape-shifting, the timeline and shifting into this force change. Like when something, you know, if there's a boulder that falls in your path, you are forced to change. You're forced to find a new path. Okay. So you are being asked to find a new path. We don't know how it's going to unfold exactly for you. This is Uranus. And so one of the things to look at is the change is always deeper. It's always at the spiritual level first. It shows up in your money or in your body or somewhere else, but it has to happen in your spirit. So ask yourself what higher spiritual truth Uranus is going to direct, and when is that going to be happening? Because since we have no planets in retrograde, we're going to have this forward energy, and we're barreling down on the 10th, the 9th and the 10th, the new lunar year, the new moon, and the new Chinese year of the dragon. We're feeling all those energies already. So a few days ago, January 28th, Uranus went direct, and all that energy we were feeling since August of Uranus, the suddenness, the change, was reflecting on your changes, reflecting on what. This is leading us to the next portal of the dragon year, and the lunar calendar year is the end of the year, and the new year starts February 10th. So these cycles are going forward. Like today, we honored the cycle of midway between the solstice and the equinox. So we have a point to say, okay, what are the energies now? Because cycles are changing all the time, changing. Uranus and Jupiter begin to get closer. And when they come together in April, they're going to have a little kissy poo time. Jupiter expands everything. It's the biggest planet. It's the planet of good fortune. It's the planet of expansion. So again, like abundance, we want to be careful. What are we expanding? Right? What are we expanding? What are we applying that to? Well, if Jupiter and Uranus are going to get together, what does that mean? It's expanding change, sudden redirection, sudden unexpected change, freedom. I want to expand freedom, innovation, okay, shape-shifting, new timelines, owning your power. So now, as we move forward, this is an expansion of innovation and change for your highest good. What would that mean? Could you be a co-creator in this? Instead of waiting for something to happen and watching it and being afraid of it, could you sit down and talk to this energy? Could you sit down and say, hey, Chiron, hey, Asclepius, I'm ready to heal these wounds and allow them to expand into a new pathway, into a new timeline, into a new power, into a new wisdom, into a new connection, into a new intuitive pathway where I suddenly become aware of, I want to be a part of Nan's community and I'm going to join the Sacred Spirit Circle, or I'm going to go to Greece, or I'm going to go to do whatever. Okay. My thing, whatever. What are you called to? Now, there's so much information out there that your new direct destiny path must be very carefully curated, because there's so many opportunities this year that you're going to be like, oh, this. They're not all going to be good. They're not all going to be wise, and they're not all going to move you forward. They may even overwhelm you. There's too much. And this one looked good in the beginning, but this one's better now. And what do I do? And then are you stuck in obligation? And does your wound say that you have to obligate and you have to do what you said you were going to do? You can't change your mind. So really give yourself an opportunity to let these go. Now look at April. We've got a lot of other things coming. That's a little bit far down the way. And so for as far as creativity and awakening with the dragon year, I want you to push yourself out of your comfort zone, out of the nest, into a new innovative way of being. And because Uranus is the great awakener and February begins the love month, but we also have a big episode with Chiron, the wounded healer, I want you to see that you might have felt like I wanted to move forward on my goals for the new year and the energy wasn't right. It never is. Just don't start until about the third week of January and use that time to be peaceful, nurturing, loving, completing. Okay. Now we're moving into the next phase. We're building speed. We've got all the retrogrades gone. That means whatever those, whatever planet, Mercury, messenger of the gods, it's going forward. It's going, I'm out here. I'm forging the way, throwing messages to you. Okay, Uranus, woo, let's go. We're going to create some change. That means you might be going down some new paths. Are you willing to do it? Are you willing to say yes to it? Are you willing to understand it? And are you willing to do it not out of desperation? All right. Ron. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I talk this into my phone, so you can see some of the typos are from me talking. Now, we're going to come together. The moon will come together with the lunar nodes. Will show you your life path and directions, both past and future. And I believe Chiron, not spelled like that, is the wounded healer, is a representative of our own healer. And all the things we've just talked about. We already talked about this. He rose through, he became a medium, a healer, a psychic, an energy traveler, and has the powers to help you become the same, to find the power and the gift inside your wounds. So it's heading towards the birth node, your destiny path for the collective. There's no need to heal. What we do need to heal is, as a collective, is also of what we have to heal for ourselves. So I'm going to release this because that's becoming a little too confusing. And now we'll just wrap up for this week, because I'll go more into what's happening. Next week's going to be a big week. Oh my God, big week, because we have the new moon, the Lunar New Year, the Chinese New Year, more dragon energy. And I want to make a wonderful announcement. Please contact me if you're interested in any retreat, regardless of what you think is possible, because if we get together and have a conversation, we can look into the field. We can look into the possibilities. I was telling this lady yesterday what the path looked like, what the energy looked like, and she was already fully embraced. I know I'm meant to be in Greece. I need to figure out how. And then as I was seeing her energies, I was like, yeah, I agree. This is your path. And then it was, what's in the way? What can I do as manifesting actions, mindsets, thoughts to move me towards that, to show myself, to make that decision, and then show me, show the energies, show the universe, I'm ready to go down that path. I may not know how to make that happen. I know how to be present in the moment and listen. And so much magic came through, so much delight. She's so excited. She was like, gonna go get her suitcase out right away, to, even though it's a little ways away, right? If you get your suitcase out, if you start thinking about packing, if you look at the weather, or whatever are the elements and aspects of what it is you want to manifest, you're going to start pulling it into your reality. You're going to start giving it your mental time. and the energies will start to open those doors. It's not going to open doors if you haven't made a decision and decide what it is that you want to use this growth, prosperous energy for this year. And please, please balance your inner wealth. That wealth is your time. That wealth is your spirit, your energy, your focus, your self-love, your capacity for love. And it isn't limited, but it may have felt like it's limited, and maybe you've been giving it away. So from Birgit, CHIRON, and I, and the goddess of soothing, we wish you a beautiful day. And I hope I see you soon. I'm also going to share something else that's new very soon around a prosperity mastermind. And so if that interests you and you want to actually be with me, be with the group on a regular basis to manifest your life, to consistently move through these challenges, move into this growth energy, take what comes up, understand your patterns, move into being this empowered, healed, wounded person, then let me know. In the meantime, namaste. We give great thanks for all of these beautiful energies, for Uranus, our awakening, our guide that brings us forward, whether we like it or not, for Chiron, showing us over and over that the perception of being unloved and unwanted is simply an illusion. We step into our wounds with this support and love, with the fire and water and the candles of divine presence, with Birgit in this sacred moment. And we give thanks to all the elementals, to all the colors and the rays, to Gaia and the trees and the roots and the waters, to the animals and the insects and all of our fellow travelers here in this moment. May we be free. May we be. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're going to open the circle, but leave it unbroken. So anytime, because we've put this now into the Akasha, and what that means is that anybody can access it, of course, through the video. So please share. However, people will begin to access it in their mind, in their hearts. They will begin to access this freedom information. So whatever you do, you're putting into the Akasha as well. Be a creator of blessings and love. Namaste.